वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचारूणमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुर्साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः. We didn't appoint anybody to say the sloka, right?
We did Ansh.
What?
Yeah, we did
Oh yeah, we did Ansh.
You said, oh my god, I practiced so
That's
much.
That's okay. Okay, not yet. Sean, can you please start, Rajan? Sean?
Practice.
Sean. जोर से बेटा.
ओम सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै. ओम शांति शांति शांति. असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्युर्मामृतं गमय. ओम शांति शांति शांति. ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते.
Good deal. Okay, so who's going to tell me their experience from last week? What did we experience last week?
We went through Krishna's life
Stories, yeah. Any stories that you guys remember? Okay, we're gonna go with Sia.
He lifted the mountain with his pinky.
He lifted his Govardhan Parvat, right? Govardhan Parvat story. Okay, Sasha.
The fact that his wife sold him and he
But what was the message of that story? I know that.
Don't sell your
husband. Don't sell your husband.
like gold and everything can't, like, you can't just give a god gold and leave. You actually have to worship him.
The devotion, yeah, the love and devotion. That's what God wants. God doesn't want a lot of gold or a lot of money.
Did he divorce her after that?
Why would he? We're talking about love and devotion. We don't talk about divorce here, right? Okay.
Just kidding.
What were you saying, Rajan? Sanit? What were you saying?
That's what I was saying.
Oh, okay. What?
How he stole butter to give to everybody because Kans was taking the butter from them.
Yeah. So Kans was taking taxes and butter from them, so he was distributing it to everybody, and there was no equality among everybody. So he was trying to say even the poor should get good food, and the rich should get good food too. It's not about just the rich getting good food. It should be balanced. Everybody should get food, shelter, and clothes, right? So that was the message on his stealing the butter. Okay, what else? What else was there? That's it?
The story wherever his friend was like, he came to his palace and he had nothing to give him. I mean,
Yeah.
Sudan.
yeah, right.
Yeah. So what was that story? Okay, Sasha, go ahead.
There was the story where Sudama's wife, I forgot her name, but she said that when you come back, ask Krishna to get us get us some money so we can get food and everything. And then Sudama, he went with a bowl of rice because he didn't know what to do,
Mm-hmm.
but he felt bad for it. And then Krishna said that it was fine
Mm-hmm.
because he loved that was his favorite food.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, when Sudama came home,
Mm-hmm.
he came back to like a brand new home, like a lot of good stuff, I guess.
Mhm.
And then Sudama's wife was really happy because she wanted him to do something which he didn't even ask him.
So what was the message of the story?
Yeah, like your friends already know.
Good friendship is you know what your friends need, right?
I was gonna say that.
Okay. So there was one more story, and I'm going to pick the person because there is the same person respond every time. So let's pick somebody who doesn't respond in the class. Are you guys ready?
Can you say the Taj? Oh, I don't know, because we never do
I know some people don't say anything, so let's pick them and say if they know anything about that story. Okay, so what was the message of? There was another story that I said about Radha and Krishna.
Can you say the topic?
That's what I thought.
Okay,
Imagine if
so now tell me what was the message of that story. I will go with Neil first.
Something like
Plot twist.
So tell me what was their message in that story.
Krishna wanted to marry Radha, but she was already engaged to someone else. So he tried to do everything he could to get her or something.
What was the message of the story? Sunday, you answer all my questions. So I'm going to ask for somebody else who doesn't. So I just want the message. I don't want the whole story. So what was the message out of it?
I'm raising my hand so you can call lunch.
Oh. You're representing Anj?
Okay. So I think it was like he was supposed to be he was supposed to do like good, and forgot what the word was. But basically they said that he shouldn't go after something else.
Mm-hmm. So what do you go after then?
You go on your own path, and if
Yeah.
your partner doesn't continue.
Oh, okay.
She just gave you the direction. Now you continue.
If your partner doesn't support you, then you shouldn't be with them.
For what? Support of what? Like there will be a lot of disagreement. That's going to be there. But what?
Your purpose in life.
What?
Your purpose in life, right?
He was right.
You are right.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say.
Yeah, I know. No, you were coming to the point. I didn't see that.
No, I was talking to Sean.
No. You were coming to the point. So, hey, what was the big message out of it? Was that, there are some, you are not, we started Gita lesson by saying that your purpose is not to just live, eat, and die, right? The human life is given with all these things that human can do. It's an amazing thing that humans can do. They can think, they have mind, they have intellect to think. So this life is given to you for a purpose. If you guys cannot figure that out, the purpose, it's too soon right now for you to figure out, but there should be a purpose in your life. And your partner or even when you live with your parents and stuff, you have to influence. If your purpose is good, you have to influence them and all the surrounding around you for your purpose of life, right? And even if you find a life partner, that should also be connected with that purpose, right? So sometimes you will find people who are not along with you on your purpose, but the real love shows up if they become together with you on your purpose, right? If they come and start following you because of your purpose, they can give up all their things, but if they are with you, means that's a true love, right? So you need to think about it when you try to find your partner. That's what you need to think, that they should match your purpose. That's where it will be better life. Otherwise, if you guys both have different purposes, then it's going to be hard for you to achieve your own purpose, what you have in your life. So that's very important for you guys to think about it. Okay, so we're going to continue with a couple more Krishna stories first, because we want to see we are reading Gita, we have done like what, chapter 2 about initial part, but a lot of kids I feel like here doesn't know Mahabharata too much or haven't known Krishna much, so I'm like, I took a pause here and thought it's better to learn about Krishna first and then continue over Gita, right? Do you guys agree with that?
Yes, we
Oh,
love
okay,
Krishna.
good job, right?
For life.
So we start with this. So I will tell you a couple more stories. So we went to where he got married, right? We got from kid to where he got married. Now couple more other stories that gonna talk about Krishna, how it goes. We already talking about Gita, so we're not gonna bring Gita in here, or Arjun and Krishna's Bhagwan relationship, because we are discussing a lot in detail in Gita with that relationship, but we're gonna talk about other relationship of Krishna. So another story, Uddhav. How many of you guys know about Uddhav?
Of course, Krishna, you can put your hand down.
Yeah, good, Chris.
I'm not asking Krish, so you guys tell me. Anybody who knows Uddhav? Nobody knows Uddhav? No. Oh, okay. You remember? Okay, guys. No kind of that language in this class. No saying shut up to each other. Okay, guys? Okay. Okay, guys. Come on, let's start. So Uddhav was Krishna Bhagwan's good friend, and I think he was his cousin too. I don't exactly know, but they say that he was one of his cousins. But he was a really good friend. They grew up together, right? So, but Uddhav was very devotee, and he was not devotee in Bhakti Yoga. He was devotee about Gyan, like knowing yourself, like what we were studying in chapter 2, right? Knowing ourselves. We are Atman, we are Brahman, everything is Brahman, everybody is same, we have God inside us, that's the Gyan, right? So he was very, very knowledgeable in Gyan. He had a lot of knowledge about self, how Atman work, how everybody has Atman in it, so he was very highly known for his knowledge, right? So he was very good friend of Krishna Bhagwan. He lived with Krishna Bhagwan for a long time. So one time what happened is Krishna Bhagwan was sitting beside Yamuna Nadi, and he saw a lotus coming in Yamuna Nadi, and he picked that lotus and he looked at it and he had tears in his eyes. So Uddhav was there. Uddhav said, hey, I never saw tears in your eyes. What is that? So Krishna Bhagwan says, this lotus is coming from Vrindavan. And they were in Mathura, right? This is the time when he already killed Kans. He is already in Mathura. So he saw that a lotus coming from Vrindavan to Mathura, and he picked up that lotus from Yamuna, and he had tears in his eyes. So Uddhav says, why are you crying about this? So this came from Vrindavan. So what is in Vrindavan that you are crying about? So he said, I left all my family, my friends. Yes.
That's where he used to live.
Yeah, he used to live there, right? He left it. Now he said, I left my family, my friends, everybody in Vrindavan, and I miss them. So I feel like I feel like they are alone with me. I also see that they are missing me too. So I cried on that. So Uddhav, who had so much knowledge, he said, why are they crying and why are you crying? We are all Brahman. We are all same. What is the sense of crying over this body and this intellect and this mind? We are the same body, same intellect. So we should not even worry about it. What we have to do, let's move on. Krishna Bhagavan says, I understand that whole thing. But people in Vrindavan don't understand. And they keep calling me and they keep crying for me. And they are my bhakt, they are my devotee. So I have to listen to them. Right? So I am crying because they are crying, right? So I am very sad that they are sad. That's why I'm sad. So Uddhav says, oh, don't worry about it. Let me go there and explain this knowledge to them and make them aware of this knowledge of their self, that they are Brahman, and forget about Krishna Bhagwan is just a Swarup that you are remembering. Forget about him. Just contemplate and meditate on Brahman. That's what the knowledge is. So that's what you need to do. So he said, okay, Krishna Bhagavan said, okay, yeah, go. Then teach them and come back and tell me how it went. Go to Vrindavan and tell everybody not to do that. And he said, okay, so he goes there. Now what happened is he takes Krishna Bhagavan's rath, and he was sitting in Krishna Bhagavan's rath, and he looked like Krishna Bhagavan a little bit. So when he reached Vrindavan, everybody got excited thinking about that Krishna Bhagavan came, right? So they were very happy and they thought, oh wow, Krishna Bhagavan came. But when they came close, they saw Uddhav. And they got sad again that it's not Krishna Bhagavan, right? So
He's like, no one's happy to see me.
I know. Then what happened is that he says, oh, okay, you know what? I'm here to see you guys, and Krishna Bhagavan sent a letter for you, so I will give you the letter. So everybody got excited, and he said, okay, give us the letter. So he got in everybody came, the whole crowd of village came to see him, because now this is Krishna Bhagavan's messenger. So he came and everybody said, okay, you know, I want to listen what Krishna Bhagavan sent the letter to him. So Uddhav said, before I give them letter, let me give them the lecture, right, of the knowledge, the Jnana Yoga. Let me give them the Jnana Yoga so they don't even worry about it anymore and they don't miss Krishna Bhagavan anymore. So let me tell them that Krishna Bhagavan is nothing other than Brahman, which is in you too. So he started lecturing. He started his whole thing that, hey, you know, you need to meditate, you need to meditate on the Brahman. The whole world is Brahman, nothing other than Brahman. That's the only existence. Forget about Krishna Bhagavan in yourself, but just concentrate on it. Close your eyes. He gave all the 9-yard lecture. And we opened his eyes. Everybody was sitting like this and looking at him. They were like,
Talk about my life.
what? And they said, oh, okay. So they said, he feel really good. He said, oh, I made everybody understand. I'm so good at it. So then one of the gopi, you know, everybody in the village were so crazy about Krishna Bhagavan, right? So now one of the gopis says, you know, I have a question. And so Uddhav says, yeah, go ahead and ask me. So he said, one thing I am not understanding. You said that you are Brahman, we are Brahman, everybody is Brahman, and you are teaching this lecture to everybody that if you are Brahman and everybody is Brahman, you should see Uddhav in everybody then. Because you are Uddhav, everybody should be Uddhav. Then if you are looking in that eye, right, if you are looking with that eye, everybody should be Uddhav. Then why are you lecturing us? You should think that we are you and you are us. So why are you lecturing us on that? Right? So she said, why are you... Now Uddhav, who was so intelligent, he never came across this question. So he said, what? So he like, what? This, that, and he was trying to find an answer. And he said, the gopi said, no, never mind. Okay, let me ask you another question. And he said, okay, what question? So say that you said that use your mind. What do I use to contemplate or to meditate on? He said, use your mind, right? So Gopi said, my mind is already gone with Krishna Bhagavan. It is all Krishna Bhagavan, Krishna Bhagavan, Krishna Bhagavan. I don't know anything else. How should I contemplate? How should I use to meditate it? What should I use? If I had 10,000 mind, I would have used one of the mind to do that. But I only had one mind, which is already with Krishna Bhagavan. So what mind should I use? So Uddhav couldn't find the answer for that too. He said, what is this? Right? Then what happened? Gopi says, whatever you are saying is good. It sounds really good. It sounds like a big talk that you are doing, right? So, but you know what? When you talk about these Brahman, can you see it? Can you feel it? Can you have it? Are you looking for it? Are you experiencing it? He said he is. So he said, okay, then show me where your Brahman is. Right? He said, no. So you show me where your Krishna Bhagavan is. Uddhav says to Gopi. Gopi says Krishna Bhagavan is everywhere. So he said, do you see that? He's behind the tree. So Uddhav goes and look and he said, no, I don't see him. He said, Gopi says, no, he's right here. He's right here. He's right here. So Uddhav says, I cannot see it. So Gopi says, because you don't him or your Brahman all over your life or all over your mind. For us, we are so much devoted that we see our Bhagwan in everything. In even tree, in our flower, in a nadi, in a leaf, in grass, everything we see God in there, right? So we can see Krishna Bhagwan everywhere. But because you don't have anything to think about, because your Brahman is nothing, no Swarup, so you cannot see them everywhere, right? So when he says no, and when he looked at it, he couldn't find any answers for them. So what happens is, in this story, what we feel like, Gyan is important. You need to know who yourself is, what you are, how the life goes. But equally or more important is what? Bhakti, the devotion to God. That you can devote yourself, your mind to God. That's also more important, not just thinking about who are we. So what we are studying in chapter 2 is that we are Atman, we are Brahman, all these things we are studying. But that we can see it when we have a faithful devotion, a love devotional service to God. So that's why, when we talk about Murti Puja, and we talk about Murti Puja and everything, that is to prepare ourselves to get that Gyan. Right? Without that preparation, we cannot get that Gyan. So then, Uddhav, what happened to Uddhav? Uddhav came to teach Gopi, but Gopi taught him a lesson that Gyan doesn't work by itself. Until you don't have devotional love towards God, your Gyan is nothing. Right? He couldn't even see Bhagwan anywhere, but the Gopi can see Bhagwan everywhere. In river, on trees, in everything. Because what they picture is everything is made by Bhagwan, right? So the tree came by Bhagwan, the river came by Bhagwan, so they can see Bhagwan in everything, right? So gopis can do that, but Uddhav couldn't do it because he only had what? Gyan. He did not have the devotional love towards God, right? So what is important? You don't have Gyan, but you have devotional love, you will still make it through. But you have only Gyan and you don't have devotional, you will not be able to make it through, right? Because Gyan brings arrogance, what Uddhav had, right? Jnani people, what happens is, when they know something about it, what happens to them? They start feeling what? Proud, right? Pride comes, right? With Gyan, pride comes, that I know everything. So to minimize that pride, what do you need? You need devotional love, right? So that's very important for you to balance it out. So devotional love is equally important than Gyan. So in Gita, we will talk about 4 different types of yoga. We will talk about Gyan Yoga, Karma Yoga, Dhyan Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga, right? So let me talk about it again. Should I write it down?
Yeah.
So, yeah, beta. Got it. Okay. Karma Yoga. Gyan, Jnana Yoga.
Or G or J and A.
Whatever, they different spelling can be happen. Jnana Yoga. And then we have Dhyana Yoga. And then we have Bhakti Yoga. So the 2 yoga that I was talking about was this and this. You will always keep seeing the question arises that which yoga is good to get to the liberation, to go to the elevated level. So now what I will say that Jnana Yoga is also, you can say knowledge.
K-N-O-W.
Jnana Yoga is also, in English is knowledge. Karma is action. Meditation. Dhyan is?
I thought that was like focus.
Yeah, meditation is focusing.
Oh, right.
And then bhakti is devotion. I know. I have to move all these things together. Okay. So then Uddhav, yes,
What's the second one say?
knowledge, Knowledge. Okay. So then Uddhav goes back. He came for a day, but you know what? He stayed for 6 months in Vrindavan.
After the girl showed him up.
Yeah, because he wanted to. He was so got into how Gopi love and devote their things to Krishna Bhagavan, their devotional love. He learned so much, and he did not wanted to leave from there. So when he left, it was 2 hours journey from Mathura to Gopur. But when he came back, he took so many stops because he was seeing Krishna Bhagavan everywhere, right? So he took his journey took so long to go back to Mathura. Now when he came back to Mathura, he fell into Krishna Bhagavan's feet, and Krishna Bhagavan took him up, gave him a hug, and he started crying. So Krishna Bhagavan wiped his tears he wipes his tears and asks, why are you crying and what? So he said, did you give lessons to all the gopis? Did you make them understand that no need to cry, no need to do anything for me? And he said, you are very crooked, you are very bad. What did you make me? I knew why you sent it. So he realized Krishna Bhagavan made he go there. That was Krishna Bhagavan's what do you say that? Intention, right. So Krishna Bhagavan's intention was because he saw that he had so much gyan but he doesn't have any devotion, and without devotion he would not get the bhakti, the liberation, right? So Krishna Bhagavan actually sent him with the intention to learn the devotional service, right? So when he came back so Krishna Bhagavan never did the things the right way. Like, give the answer. Hey, you are not doing this right. Do the different way. He actually let them realize what's right and what's wrong, right? And then let them do the things after realizing whether it's right. So he never gave the right answer in entire Mahabharata. If you look at it, it was never like a straightforward cookie cutter answer.
In the Mahabharata would be like 2 pages.
I know. And it would be like, okay, Krishna Bhagavan said this, and that's it, right? Everybody would have done it. But what he did is he let the person realize it, what's right and what's wrong, and then they make the decision. Usually when somebody says, do this, even if you do it half-heartedly, right? But when you think that's the right thing to do, what happens?
You do
Then
it
You do it because you want to.
you do because you want to, right? Not just because you have to, right? Then you do because you want to. So Uddhav then said, hey Bhagwan, I need one thing asked from you. He asked a lot of questions, which I actually started our second class with that, what Uddhav's questions were, but I think you guys forgot about it. But I'm not going to repeat that story. We will repeat that story some other day, but I will tell you. So then Uddhav comes and Uddhav says, I want to ask you something. And Krishna Bhagavan says, what? Next life, don't give me human life. And he said, oh, okay, what? He said, don't give me human life, don't make me God. Make me a grass of Vrindavan, where I can have those feet of gopis can dance over me or walk over me, and I can get the devotional service. I can see or witness that devotional service of them every day. God, please make me that. So he was so got into that how elevated gopis are and how elevated their bhakti is, that he said, only make me a grass of Vrindavan. So that's why I think there is a place in Vrindavan, if you go right now too, it says that there is a place near the lake where it says that Uddhav was born there, and there is a small temple of Uddhav there in Vrindavan. So that's the story of Uddhav. But Uddhav was really good friend of Krishna Bhagavan. There are many, many stories of Uddhav. I just told you one. Okay, so you guys got that? Can we move on to the next one? Okay. Yes.
What those questions?
Oh,
okay. I was like,
Yes.
so you said we went over those questions at the beginning of the class?
So I will tell you, but it's a long story. He asked like, why did you not went to Duryodhan, and why did you? There were, what was the question? Why did you not taught Duryodhan rather than coming to Arjun? Why did you? Why did you not? Why did you not stop the dice game? If dice game would not have been happened,
all of those questions.
right? So that was Uddhav who asked those questions. Why did you do that? Why did you do that? So Krishna Bhagavan gave the answer to all his questions.
Just like way after.
Yeah, when Krishna Bhagavan was leaving his body and going, that's when Uddhav asked him. You remember that? I actually
Yeah.
covered that
Yeah.
those questions in
Yeah.
second class.
Are
Yeah.
we gonna read the book?
No, when if we finish today, then we will read it. Okay, we'll just tell their story. Okay, you guys are ready for next one? Okay. So you know this was when Krishna Bhagavan was there, right? He was present. He was living in that era, and we talk about the bhakti in that era where Krishna Bhagavan was there, right? So Arjun saw Krishna Bhagavan did the bhakti. Uddhav saw Krishna Bhagavan did the bhakti. Gopi saw physically Krishna Bhagavan and did the bhakti. What happened after when the Krishna Bhagavan is not around you, right? When, did somebody did bhakti to that level when Krishna Bhagavan was not around? And that is the biggest example of Mirabai. I don't know if you heard about Mirabai. Right? Okay. So, Meera was, I know it's your mom's name. That's why you are laughing there. But Meera was born in Rajput kingdom in Rajasthan. And she was in Rajasthan with, Mewar. He was a small kingdom of Mewar. She was born there when she was 4 years old. She was looking to a wedding ceremony where the guy was all ready and what?
She's already getting married?
No, she was looking at she was looking to a wedding, and the groom was really dressed up well with the crown and everything, and she asked her mom that, hey, who's going to be my groom? Like the kid asked, like curiously. So her mom just pointed out to Krishna Bhagavan, who was very much, with the shingar, good garland and everything he was wearing. So her mom said, Krishna Bhagavan would be your groom when he comes to marry. Then
This is the time he's not on the
he was not even. Yeah, it was just his murti. Right?
I thought
Krishna Bhagavan was not even there, right? Krishna Bhagavan, this is 1500 BC.
Oh, 1500 BC.
No, DC.
You mean
No.
AD. What does AD stand for?
after death of
Christ.
it's Anno Domini.
Yeah, for BC they put before Christ.
Before Christ. This is after. Okay, Okay, guys, come back. Okay. So this is in 1500. This is not even 5,000 years ago, right? I'm talking about 1500 century. So then she was 4 years old at that time. At that time, Mughal came to India, right? So they were having fights with all the Indian kingdom to capture them, right? So Rajput and Mughals having a big fight. So her father and mom passed away. Her father died in the Akbar and their fight, and mother passed away too soon. So she grew up with the grandfather. And grandfather in those days, the girls if they are princes, they learn all the things, right? They earn all the army thing, the weapon, they can use the weapon easily or something. They get horse riding, they learn all kind of different things, right? So she was trained on all the things, right? But then she devoted to Krishna Bhagavan to her life, right? So, and one time she got an idol from Krishna Bhagavan's idol from somewhere, and then she used to pray that idol all the time. Like you guys got the idol from me, last time. That's the way she got a small thing, and she used to pray him all the time. So she started growing, she got into the school, and then she learned everything. Now it came to that she was 14 years old, and at that time what happens? Married, right? So they started talking about they started talking about getting her married, right? So she yeah. So she kept on saying that. Okay, guys, one talk. Let me finish the story, then you guys can talk.
Always compare her to Krishna.
What is it?
The guy she married. Was she?
Yeah. So then they made her got married to Chittorgarh Raja. That was the king of Chittorgarh. So she said no, but then they forced her to get married, so she got married to him. But then in the mind, she kept on saying that my husband is only Krishna and nobody else. So then, listen to this thing, guys. Krishna.
I'm not shy.
Okay, guys, you need to stop talking in the back, otherwise I will make you sit in the front. Okay. So then she said that no, that's my husband, right? So when she got married and she came here, she did not change her devotion. She did not. She used to go do her work, her household work, but then she goes to temple, sing, dance, and everything with Krishna Bhagwan. So then the king, the father-in-law, brother-in-law, all those guys did not like it that she was so devoted to temple and she was not staying in the home or doing stuff. And she was like other queens, they used to stay home, they used to, stay in the palace, but she used to keep going in the temple. But her husband was very supportive. He made a temple for her in the palace so that she doesn't have to go anywhere, Krishna Bhagwan's temple. But she kept on saying that my husband is only. The part is it becomes a lot of things came in her life where she struggled. So, because her own home people were against her. So one day they actually send a basket of snakes to her so that she can die. They tried to kill her many times. So
My
that she,
parents.
What?
You can't open my parents.
No, so then
My parents.
what happened is she was so devoted to Krishna Bhagwan, so the snake basket turned into garlands because she kept memorizing God every time whenever she got into trouble. One time they gave a poison, bowl of poison to her to drink it. She said, "Oh God, you drink first and I will drink it." And as soon as she took as a prasad, she didn't die with that. So there are a lot of other stories about Mirabai. In actual, that reality happened, that she didn't, she was so devotional that she survived all those challenges just by being devoted to Bhagwanji. And then eventually she went and she stayed with Krishna Bhagwan in Dwarka in that temple, and then she passed away there. So that's the story about devotion of a person after even not seeing Krishna Bhagwan in the real life. Yes?
Can't you just not drink the potion? The poison.
Couldn't they just stab
No,
her
they're
and
like-
sleep?
They actually gave it to her to drink it, and she was in middle of the kingdom in the middle of their thing that she had to drink it. They always challenge you when you talk about Bhagwan. Then they always challenge, show your Bhagwan here, right? So this is the poison bowl. Drink it. Show us that he's there.
Like he has other things to do like singing.
Right? So that's how they challenge you. They challenge the Bhakta there. But these are kind of stories out there about the Bhakta. Now, you and me never saw it, right? So we don't know what's the truth in the history. But one thing is there for sure. One thing's for sure is there that, there is some power out there, right? Do you believe it or not? Which I'm going to make you believe in 1 minute, okay? There is a magic that I have. Okay, I'm going to show you that magic. And then you tell me if you believe that there is a powerful something out there that decides everything that goes in this world. Okay. You believe in that? How many of you guys believe?
What?
That there is a... Guys, you guys have to pay attention. You cannot not pay attention. Okay, so tell me. You guys believe? Raise your hand. On the call, raise your hand if you guys believe. Okay,
Orange
awesome.
wasn't raising his hand.
What? What is this?
Okay,
Before.
okay. You guys, I have a quiz for you.
Quiz!
I have a quiz for you. Answer the
Pop
questions,
I thought
okay?
you were saying it's a magic trick.
I know, this is the magic, guys. This is the magic.
Magic trick.
Okay, you guys Krishu, you don't talk about it. No, and it's not from the book, Raja. It's just random questions.
Can we write
Just
2
random.
plus 2 is 4.
It's like 2 plus 2 is 4.
Minus 1 plus 3 equals
Okay, guys, if you want to stay here for, if you guys want to stay here for 2 hours, I don't mind. You guys can talk as much as you want. But if you want to leave in 1 hour, then we have to do this on time. Okay? Okay, I'm gonna ask you a question, and you're gonna give me the answer.
Are we going that order or are we just yelling it out?
No, you're just yelling it out.
But didn't
Except Krishu.
Yeah.
Except
for me. Except for me.
Okay, if you guys don't know the answer, just look at me with the
Blank
pretty eyes, a confused face. Okay. Okay, these are all questions about your own self. You got it? Okay, your own self. Anybody from the call can answer too, guys, if you know. Okay? Your body is made up of approximately
70% water.
99.
how much cells?
3 trillion.
86 billion.
Okay, how many? Your body is made up of how many cells? No guesses. You know, if you know the number, then only say it.
Wait, can I guess? I actually don't know.
1 brain cell.
I'm kidding.
3
Okay. Neil is the closest one. 100 trillions.
Trillions.
100 trillion cells are there in your body.
You mean trillion?
And every 7 years, the whole body,
Reset.
guys, this is very important for you to
It boots
listen.
down. And then you have to go back in a
Every
minute.
7 years, all your cells
Are replaced
by the new cells.
You have to
It's
pull
not
back
happen
the
at the same time. It's one cell goes away, the second cell comes slowly, but every 7 years, your body's entire cell, except some nerves, nervous
God
system
pulls down the
cells.
reboot lever. And then
Guys, can we not do the extra talking, please?
he waits for 60 seconds.
Otherwise, I really have to move you guys around. Okay. Next question. The brain can hold, filling the blanks, as much information as an Encyclopedia Britannica. How many? The brain can hold how many? As much information as encyclopedia.
We learned
Five.
in school for like
Your brain.
5.
How many times?
Depends on the brain.
5 times.
Oh.
I was about to do this.
Encyclopedia.
Do you know how big it is?
How much information your brain can hold. If you guys want the questions, I can give you the paper at the end.
Let's go.
You don't have to write it. Okay, next question. Nerve impulses.
5.
Nerve impulses. Your nerve impulses. You know what is nerve impulses?
Yeah.
Everybody knows about it.
Oh, didn't we do this at Swap?
Isn't it like when you touch
And I partnered, and me and my partner got along.
Nerve impulses
I
travels
just remember.
at per hour. What rate at per hour?
1 mile per hour. 1 lightning speed per hour. 1 lightning
What's the question?
I cannot hear you.
7 million to you get a million.
What is it? Guys, what is it?
I said I don't know.
You don't know that? Okay.
What's the question?
Nerve impulses travel, filling the blanks,
The light
at
speed.
per
The
hour.
light is speed.
Okay, 170 miles.
170.
170
170
miles.
miles per hour.
That's slow.
Okay, one of our organs. Guys, one of our organs. It can cut and regenerate.
Heart.
Is it our brain? It's our skin.
Organ.
Is it long? Skin is not an organ.
Yes, it is. Yeah, it's your biggest organ.
organ in your body.
Okay, let's finish like other than skin. Okay.
Heart.
Like that. You can regenerate.
It cannot regenerate. Okay, liver and lungs both can regenerate.
I said lungs. I said liver. I'm the biggest brain. I said
Okay, you guys were right. Okay, next.
Soggy correct.
Our one organ surface area is as much as tennis court.
What? That's small.
Oh, I don't know.
Intestine.
Yeah.
Intestine.
Surface area. Okay, remember what is surface area?
Brain.
That thing is mass.
Blood.
That's
Blood.
You can't have liquid in the intestine.
One of our organ surface area is as much as big as.
I need the paper.
But
As much as tennis area. The lungs, guys. Okay, guys, you are very much distracted, so I'm not going to continue this quiz. But the bigger sense to tell you is how miraculously this body is being made, right? The enzyme that is released to digest our food, if you want to make those enzymes outside the body in a factory, it will require 50,000 acre land to just build
Acres of land.
these are light speed.
to make those enzymes and put it together
So
in
you're
somebody's
saying-
one body.
Oh.
Our intestine is as big. So the part that I'm saying about when we talk about God is there or not, everybody represents that there is a God, right? The heart pumps 2,000 gallon blood every day. Can anybody outside, can human make that kind of heart? They can make it they can do bypass, but can they put all these systems together in one body and can make the body alive?
No.
Anybody can do it.
I mean,
Moms.
I feel like nobody else.
Moms.
What?
That's also
They don't
No,
take
they-
apart, put it in a body,
Together, right?
shoot it together.
So think about it, guys. Guys, think about it now.
Wait, what's
do
the
you
question?
do you think there is no question anymore? So do you think that this body, forget about all the animals and all the plants and all these things that are being created by somebody, but just think about your bodies. Just think about your body and think about how it works, right? Do you say release this enzyme so that my food can get digested?
Yes.
Do you say that? Do you make it saying, hey, this is the button that I'm gonna press and this is the thing, right? Or do you think that do you even think half of the things that you do is on your wish, on your own body?
Yes.
That was actually how the world was. We were
Not
blood. If that's how the world was, we wouldn't be asleep. We have to keep repeating it.
Right? So
It's like series of my inside things today.
I know, right? So doesn't it amaze you? Right? That how God would have created, or somebody, let's not give a name of God. Just we want to think about that somebody would have created this thing so magical and so marvelous that it works by itself. We don't have to put our energy into it. We don't have to do anything. And still it works. Right? Yes.
Did God create all the animals, plants, and us?
Yeah, that's what it looks like, right?
He created the organisms that later evolved into us. So he didn't create us, he created the organisms that
And
evolved.
somewhere the life started, right? And it got connected. So guys, my imagination, like we're gonna keep talking about God or things like that. But first thing first, we need to, like, there are too many bugs in history. There are too many things that we can talk about God and this thing happened, that thing happened, those miracles happened. He picked the whole mountain on his pinky finger and save everybody. We can talk about those things, but let's come to the reality and talk about what is there right now that shows us that God is there, right? So, just looking at inside us, I can see God everywhere, right? We think that, hey, it's this body is meant. Now, when you think through this, you think about that, hey, God has created this body. Now, what do you do in return?
You pray to him.
What do you do in return?
You devote your life because you need to pay back your life because he gave you your life. No, you don't.
Yeah.
You be thankful.
Just start with a little thing. Guys, I don't know why you talk so much outside that thing. Okay, so let's talk about this. So when you do, start with a little appreciation. Start from there, right? Because such a miraculous thing is being created with your name on it, right? Think about it. This body is created with your name on it, and now what can you give it back? So start with little appreciation, saying thank you, God, for creating us. Now we want to find a purpose. That's the next step. But first step is to appreciate the God, right? That's where we start from. That's where the God plays his role in our everyday life, right? What happens is when we go to sleep, right? We don't remember anything. When we are in sleep, do you remember that you are the person that you are?
No.
You don't even remember. But as soon as you wake up, what happens? The world comes back, right? How miraculously God made that, right? When you sleep, you don't remember anything what you were, and you wake up and you remember everything, right? So think about the bodies, just the bodies, the enzyme, the way He created the body. He created our sleep, wakeness, what we are doing. Everything is created by some power, and that's what tells us that there is an evidence of God around us, right? So let's talk about what should we do to appreciate it, right? So just a little appreciation, right? So in the morning, it's good to thank God for giving us another day, right? So when we wake up, it's really important to say first thing like thank God for giving me the memory back. Thank God. Like we never talk about that, right? Isn't that miraculous that we forget everything and we remember every day? And thank you, God, for making us remember everything again, right? It's a little thing. We take it on granted, this thing. Like it will come back, right? I am Sonal, I will come back in the morning. That's okay. But somebody is bringing that back. So that's important, right? So thanking first thing in the morning as soon as we wake up, right? When we eat a food, right? When we eat food, that's another appreciation we can give. Because as I was saying it, when the food goes in and it gets digested, do you have to do anything about it?
No.
It happens by itself, right?
Yep.
It just keep your cells are grown, your things are done by itself. You don't do anything. You don't do any movement there. There is science behind it, but I was reading about nervous system. I wanted to know, to teach you guys. I was just doing my homework and I'm like, let me see, does it say that, hey? So when they say the digestive organ, it says the message goes to the brain says release the enzyme, they release the enzyme. But who does these messaging part? Who is the controller of that? The brain, but who is controlling the brain part?
God.
Somebody outside there.
You can't say you because when do you tell your body to?
Well, right? You don't. So when we eat food, that's another thing that God digest or do everything inside the body to finish to do everything and then grow our body or grow our, like you're going to grow taller, you're going to grow, your intellect going to get better every time as you grow. So those are the things that we are, like I always get surprised by that, right? The next thing is when you go to bed, you thank God for the day, beautiful day that He gave to you and how things were put together the whole day. So there should be a 3 kind of appreciation that should be done every day. One in the morning, One when you eat food and one you go to bed, right?
What about
Those
when you drink water?
you can do anytime, every time. You know, in Gita you will read it that the taste of water is God. Like you will see that, right? So you will come and see that. Yes, guys. Sia has a question too.
I don't have a question, but I pray to God in the morning after I shower every day.
Awesome, very good. That's so nice. That's a really good yes.
Doesn't that mean water is
Pong
dramatic? Doesn't that mean that God tastes like nothing? Because
Everything.
water tastes amazing.
Well, hot water is like so bad. So
Okay.
hot God, no.
Okay, guys, listen. So one thing we need to always think about it, right? It's not about devotion. It's not about anything. But you know, when you start the day, think about God in the morning. When you eat food, think about God, how God helps you. That makes you feel like there is a God creation there. And then at the night, thank God about giving you such a beautiful day, right? So can we just do any prayer? It's not that you have to be specific thing or specific. Even if you do your hands together and say thank you God, that's good enough. But do with Shraddha and faith, devotion, right? You need to do that and thank God for everything. We just want to show appreciation to Him at this moment, right? Yes.
Like you shouldn't just say it like, thank you God. You should say it like with your heart.
Yes, yeah. That
Thanks God for making me alive.
Or
devotion love,
God
right?
Sunday.
Yeah. Okay, whatever.
when you pray, you have to mean it. You can't
Yes,
just
you
let
cannot.
it say
Like, right, we saw that story that, hey, you can give God anything, but if you don't give it Shraddha means faith. If you don't do with devotional love or service, you will not get that going, right? So it's not, God doesn't accept it. God just accepts even one Tulsi Patra. I did not have flowers, so today I just put Tulsi Patra to Bhagwanji. And I said, Bhagwan, take this Tulsi Patra and accept this, my devotion to you, right? So you can do anything on that one, right? Now, before we leave, I know we started 5 minutes late, so we are on time right now. We are not late on this. I want to just tell you the Vasudeva Sutam Devam, Kausha Charunavardhanam, Devaki Paramanandam, Krishna Vande Jagadguru. This slok we sing every time, like in the class. Do you know what does it mean?
We thank you God.
Okay. So Vasudeva Sutam Devam. What does that mean?
Krishna's
Vasudev.
Yeah, Vasudev. So Vasudeva Sutta means Vasudev's son, right? So we are talking about who? Krishna. Right? So Vasudeva Sutam Devam. So Vasudeva Putra Devam. Sut matlab putra. So Vasudev का पुत्र कृष्ण वसुदेव सुतम देवम कंस चारुर्णवर्धनम जिसने कंस who killed Kans and Charur. Charur and Kans were two.
Charur is that wrestler dude that killed before Khan.
Before the Kans. Yeah, Charur.
Khan's were like his best wrestlers against Krishna and
That was so
he was
stupid
scared.
though. That was so stupid to other people.
Cousin brother, yeah. So Kans and Charur, he killed both of them, right? So Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kanshu Charuna Mardana Devaki Paramanandam. The kid who gives pleasure to Devaki. Devaki was his
Mom.
mom. So mom and kid both are really happy to have each other, right? So and then Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadguru. Jagadguru. So who is Krishna Bhagavan is?
The guru.
The guru of Jagat. Jagat means
The whole world.
whole world.
The universe.
Like this
The
Jagat means like Jagat.
This era.
So
This
it talks about Krishna's family, Krishna's culture and spirituality. All three in one shlok. So what we are talking about is we are just introducing Krishna Bhagavan in this shlok, that how great he is. He is Vasudev's putra, Devki's putra. He killed Kans and Charur. Charur and Kans are representation of evil, darkness. So he takes the ignorance away, right? By killing those people, because those are darkness, those are ignorance. He is giving knowledge because he is Jagat Guru, so he is giving knowledge to everybody, and killing the ignorance and the delusion of the world, right? So that's what we are talking about in that shloka.
Wouldn't he be a murderer if he killed
Yeah,
someone?
can I just like say, oh, I'm God, I'm gonna kill you now because you're evil.
But evil, this is
Everyone
the
wanted
evil.
a dead soul.
What is it?
Everyone wanted a dead soul.
I mean,
Everyone wants me dead, but.
Play that video.
Are you sure about it?
Okay, guys. Chalo.
Are you sure?
You guys got that? Now next week we will start again our Gita where we left. So we are on 19th shloka of chapter 2.
Wait, who's singing?
We're on
Anj,
19 and
Anj.
20.
Anj
No,
is singing.
Nice. I am the decider here. Can we decide on that?
Decisioner.
Okay. So you are 19 and 20. Continue. We were gonna do that, and then 21 to 30. Reha, you gonna do it? Right? Okay. And then 31 to 40. Anj will do it. So that's how we're gonna go. So we will start the shloka again
You're always
next
quiet, you
week.
don't participate.
And hopefully you guys are ready to go back to our regular studies of Gita and understand it. Right? Okay. Let's go.
Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsacharunamardhanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadguru Gurur Brahma Gurur